Greetings and welcome to another episode of MySTREAMy Brony Theater 4000, where I am the side of fries and Justin's the burger. That sounded so much better when I pitched it to him. I apologize. Should I start it over? I don't know if I can start it over. I don't know if I can.
Asker, we're finally back at our regular streaming positions.
Yes.
We can talk about what we've been doing over the past few weekends together. So let's go ahead and fill everybody in on our weekend activities that we've been doing.
I've been sitting in front of a computer all the time editing.
But you were at Pensacola Comic-Con.
Well, I was there. I only streamed briefly at it because oh my god, sorry, I forgot to put the speaker by you so that everybody can hear you. Everybody must be able to hear the cruiser. The cruiser must be heard. What I did was the fact it was just that I was there and I did a short stream in the hotel room with Bruce, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's all I did. That's all I did.
Well, what I think was cool is for those of you, I'm pretty sure most of you saw, but for those of you who didn't, Evan and his client Bruce Carr, No Ordinary Balloon Man, were actually in a van together with Eddie Deason, Mandark from Dexter's Laboratory.
Oh yeah, we were in. If you actually look at the Shade Side Studios Instagram, we were in a van with Eddie Deason, which was very cool. He was a nice guy. And I'm gonna turn the face cam off because do me a favor, can you turn your face cam off?
Okay.
We're getting the frame rate issue there. Sorry guys, see the red banner there, so we know what to do. Anyway, here's what we gotta do. Okay, now the thing is that we were in the van. Bruce was asked to do something for Ronald McDonald's house charity, and it was a last minute thing. And we're like, I guess we could squeeze it in because he had to build his cosplay of Mandark's mech from Dexter's Laboratory. And the thing is that Eddie Deason wanted to join in, and yeah, I met him. He was a nice dude. He couldn't remember the first movie he was in, which was actually Laser Blast. You may know it from the infamous Mystery Science Theater episode Laser Blast, because what else would it be? And when I brought up there, he's like, yeah, it was Laser. He said my first movie was so and so. I'm like, no, it wasn't. It was Laser Blast. He's like, yeah, it was Laser Blast. And I'm like, yeah, I know it from Mystery Science Theater. He's like, oh, yeah, I know the good version of the movie. So he had a good sense of humor on it. Justin asked for a shout out and
answer a question for me, because not a lot of people know this, but at one point Weird Al actually had his own Saturday morning TV series called The Weird Al Show, and Eddie Deason played a character called, and I'm not kidding here, the guy boarded up in the wall. It was literally him behind the wall of a set reading off a script and talking into a microphone. It was supposed to be like this version of Pee-wee's Playhouse, but at the time, CBS, who eventually bought the series or ordered him to make a season of it, said that a mandate came down from the FCC saying all network televisions have to have at least 4 hours of educational programming, to which they said, this is an educational show. So they kind of prostituted themselves a little bit. And I was curious with Eddie. I was curious to know about that role, because I wanted to know if he was actually there behind the wall, or was he actually like in a studio in post-production somewhere. But as it turns out, according to Eddie, no, he was there on set. He hates memorizing lines, which can be troublesome as the older you get. So for him, it was a very comfortable role. In fact, I think he said it was the easiest role he ever did, because he just got to be there behind the wall, the script in front of him, talking into a microphone.
Yeah, well, that was the thing. You asked me to ask him, what was it like playing the guy in the wall? And I'm like, Okay. And I asked him that, I'm like, okay, I have no idea what my buddy wants me to, why my buddy wants me to ask you this, but he wanted me to ask you, what was it like playing the guy in the wall? Oh, by the way, people, I'm getting a red banner here, so I apologize if I'm, behind on the streaming content, so, shit. Anyway, I'm, moving on there.
So were you surprised when he knew what I was talking about?
I knew exactly what I was talking about. He kept calling me friggin' Al for some reason. I don't know what that was about. He just kept calling me Al. I don't know what that was all about.
Yeah.
Do you know what that was? Why? Do you know what that was about? I don't know what it was about.
No, it just reminds me of the Weird Al show.
I guess so. Maybe. I don't know.
So, like, I love it when I pull up like obscure roles to celebrities at cons, because it just a lot of times they'll get that "you've seen that" expression. Like when I met Vern Troyer at Tampa Bay Comic-Con, a lot of people know him as Mini-Me from Austin Powers, but I preferred his work in the short-lived TV series Shasta McNasty.
What?
And it's like, oh, I remember that show. That was a lot of fun. For those of you who don't know what the show was about, it was about a fictional rock band called Shasta McNasty who gets majorly signed, but then the label goes out of business, and they got to keep the money. So it's kind of like them thinking that they're actual rock stars when in reality, like, no one knows them.
Battleship Agencourt says first stream, so you're an Apple guy. My computer's 9 years old and still going strong. I knew I had good taste. Thank you, fellow Apple user, Mr. Battleship Agencourt. And also, I like your derpy thumbnail. But that's not all I met. That's not all who I met. Fuck, what was his name? I became friends with him on Facebook.
Wasn't one of them a Power Ranger?
Yeah, that was the guy. Friggin'... Oh, I want to look him up. Oh, James Rolfe had his second child today.
Yep. It was a girl.
Yeah, he has a bit... Now his daughter has a big sister. Yeah! Let me see here. Hector David Jr., who was the Green Power Ranger in Power Ranger Jungle Fury. We went to dinner with him with a bunch of other guys. The guy is a funny dude. He's a really funny dude. He brought his dog for some reason, but like we were talking back and forth with each other, had some stuff there, and I made a couple of Instagram videos of us there with him. He was a nice guy.
Yeah, did he do like a backflip in the restaurant for you?
Yeah, he did it for this family that was a big that were Power Ranger fans. But he was doing that all day. He was doing like friggin' backflips all over. He was doing it over people with chairs. It was crazy.
They're really entertaining to watch. They are.
Yeah, there was.
Because you can imagine how much effort and strength that takes.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That's why they're fun to do, like on a trampoline, because you can not have to worry about landing them.
Looks like the fam we're gonna be meeting is here in Florida. You know that one we're gonna be meeting on Saturday.
Should the storm not be a factor?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm actually hoping to see if I can visit Evan this weekend.
Yeah, because this guy's gonna choke me to death if he doesn't go and see Pandora.
Your dad wanted me to see it. He told me no spoilers.
Well, yeah, he did.
Yeah. Let's see. Now, who were some of the other guests that were there? Like, I believe Scott Steiner, the wrestler, was there.
Oh yeah, the midget from Pirates of the Caribbean was there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He was funny. He was a cool dude. Bruce made a sculpture of him, and I loved he loved it. But I loved his first question of it,
which was,
"Where's my penis?" He was a cool dude. He was cool. He was a cool dude. I loved him. He actually
he made a few appearances on Little People Big World because he was actually friends with the dad on that show.
Yeah, he actually does a basketball team of midget basketball players.
That's pretty cool. One thing I don't know if I've ever seen this, but I would love to. I would love to see a metal band of midgets.
Midget metal band?
Yes.
Midget metal?
Now,
that's what the band name should be, Midget Metal.
Now, there is a band called Little Kiss, but that's a cover band. I don't know if they even actually play songs. I think they just might be, like a cosplay thing.
I know of a band called Little Rush, but it's just the characters from South Park.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah. for those of you who are wondering what he's talking about,
modern day warrior named Tom Sawyer. He floated down the river on a raft with a black guy. I love that.
Like, Harry Finn's stupid. Like, no, I read the book. Okay.
Yeah, hell he did.
Oh my god.
Look, Kurtman, why do we hate you and love you at the same time?
Oh, South Park, never change. Just never do it. It's hysterical.
Yeah, when they did that storyline thing, they tried changing and it didn't work. So there you go.
Let's see here. I'm trying to remember who else was there.
PewDiePie was in an episode. What, at Pensacola?
Yeah.
I forgot who else was there, man. There was a lot of people there. Like, there wasn't even that many voice actors from anime. That's what was really disappointing to me.
And Joey Oropeza was supposed to go with you,
yeah.
but he canceled.
Oh, yeah, fuck. I wanted to do a stream with Joey O, because I know everybody likes Pony Meets World. Ah!
Hey, sweetie. Come here.
No one can see your cat, dude, because I had to turn off the screen because of the audio.
I still like having my cat Sombra on my lap. Despite what my cats think of my new kitty.
I forgot to throw a link to the stream on the Facebook pages.
And screwed up.
How do you shut up? Oh yeah, by the way, I gotta show you the autograph I got you. By the way.
Oh yeah, I asked Evan to give me Eddie's autograph.
You can still see me, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I'm gonna do what I did last time and show you guys the masterful piece of you guys not being able to see the autograph and Justin describing every godlike quality of it. Where the hell is it?
Looks like.
Where the hell is it? Seriously, where the fuck did I put it? Okay, there you go. This is actually a very crappy autograph picture. So, yeah, there's the one.
The autograph looks crappy.
Yeah, this is the autograph. It's just this.
Oh my god, people. He is naked. You can see Mandark's penis. And apparently he has no pubes.
Really? Do me a favor, describe Mandark's penis to me.
Well,
I mean the audience.
Yeah, basically it kind of looks like a screwdriver. It's big and thick on one end and very tiny on the other. In some cases, that would be called a chode, where the length is actually bigger. No, the girth is actually bigger than the length. But since it's uneven, you can't technically really call it that. Though I'm not entirely sure if that's circumcised or not. Must be a Phillips head.
I know it's really disappointing for you right now.
And I'm not sure if he just hasn't reached puberty yet, or what's with the lack of pubes. Justin, but he can't get a merkin.
Justin,
that's a pubic wig.
Justin,
okay?
You want to know what's really disappointing right now?
What's that?
Look at the stream. So there you go. I also got an autograph of him from Greece, and the Greece one is worse. The Greece one is absolutely worse. Look at this.
I can actually see the picture of the autograph, dude.
It's right there. It's on the bottom.
Yeah, I thought people couldn't see it.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna show it to them. Look at. Oh, that's the wrong one. Look at how bad this autograph picture is. I mean, it's cool that I met him. He was a good dude. But like, yeah, this autograph here is like, ugh.
Well, what I think is a little odd is that I asked him, could he actually do the Mandark laugh for me? But it didn't have, that, spry and that energy. But he said like, I'm getting old, so that's to be expected.
Yeah, of course. Well, like, yeah, he was still a sweet dude. He was nice. Like he was the guy you want. We actually went to a drive-in restaurant. We're talking movie stuff with him, and he was very, very much cool. He was a cool dude. So, without ado here...
I always appreciate people are like that.
Well, everybody does. If you're a dick, then there you go. So, I guess to get this out of the way, Mr... What the fuck is this? There's a 3D pony maker?
Looks like it.
Are you able to... Did I stop sharing my screen?
No.
Nope, I didn't. Okay, cool. There you go. So I'm just gonna make a 3D pony for everybody, I guess. So I'm all like, why don't you go ahead and describe how? There you go. Describe what your time at BronyCon was like, whilst I go ahead and try and make this thing as I describe it. How about that?
Oh boy, Evan was so miserable that he didn't go.
I know. I know. I was very big on this one.
Like literally, he did like some quick like 5-minute stream saying no, Evan didn't go to Brony.
It wasn't 5 minutes. It wasn't 5 minutes. It was like really huge. It wasn't that bad. Yeah, I can make this pony like completely anorexic.
Like if he was any more depressed, he'd be suicidal.
Maybe no. And like you get that there.
It's like it's like hovered over a couch like oh my friends are at Brony. And I'm texting him pictures like every 5 minutes. He goes, "Shut up!"
Right. That's exactly how it was. Can I rotate? Yes.
Like I'm getting more and more pissed off.
Well,
So what I did to kind of make up for it, because I know I have been a bit of a jerk, was I actually got him a couple of autographs.
Oh yeah, you did. I'm gonna make myself. What the?
I got him Kyle Rideout, who does Thorax, but he also does Vinny from Littlest Pet Shop, as well as a woman that we worked with before, Kathy Westlock, who does Spike, Mare, and Miss Pamel.
I never worked for Kathy Westlock.
What's that? What's that, Evan?
I never worked for Kathy Westlock. I mean, like, if I did, I would be honored, but, you know, it's like...
No, dude, we worked with her at the gala.
Exactly, you didn't... Sorry, I'm laughing at this thing.
We worked with them, at the gala. I mean, they were hired to make an appearance there, and we worked the convention. That counts.
Yeah.
But Evan, though, what he really, wanted to do is that he did the same thing that I wanted to do with Eddie. He recorded a message because Evan's a really big fan of Death Note. He will talk about the movie later in the stream.
We'll be talking about that later for a guy who has never ever seen Death Note.
What does it matter?
Go on now. No, go on. Why don't you just continue talking about stuff? Because I want to hear more about what I did to Kathy Westlock.
Whatever.
Please.
But Evan recorded a message on his phone that he sent to me. They wanted me to play it for her about how much he enjoyed her in the... it was the English dub of Death Note, right?
Yeah, the good one.
And
I guess that's up for debate.
She was really thankful for the kind words, so I had her sign a card for Evan, and what I was trying to do, because Evan is trying to get in the autograph collecting world as well, and as most people will tell you, when it's personalized, it's not, it's worth considerably less. However,
Sorry.
Oh, okay, it's still the maker.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So I basically had her, write a note on the back, and she signed the back, but also signed the front and personalized it. But still, it was still a very nice gesture for her and of me, because I still paid for these. And Kyle, I told him about Mystery Brony Theater, actually. And on the back of one of them, he puts down to Evan, "I heart Mystery Brony Theater 4000. And another one, he actually wrote, "Evan, I love mysterious things, also Mystery Brony Theater 4000, also you." He actually...
You wanted me to send him a link. I heavily doubt he's going to watch it, but yeah.
I might do it. But, because, hey, you'd be surprised what happens. But the really cool thing, though, for me was, pretty much, at least 3/4 of the guests that they had there, we had worked with previously at the Grand Brony Gala, and they all remembered me. And that meant a lot, because it meant that I made a good impression on them. So that felt very fantastic.
Well, yeah, it's like, the stuff there, it's really good.
And when it came time to, but for me, meeting the guest of honor is my big thing, so I went straight to the autograph room and got in line. And I got in line for Kathy first. She was the very first one there. And I'm like, it finally gets down to, the next few people, and I'm one of them. And I am doing everything I can to be in my best behavior. I'm not shouting across the room. I'm not, being loud. I wasn't trying to take attention away from the person who was meeting Kathy. But
sorry. The Cheesity, I'm shouting you out. I shout out the Cheesity. He says he wants a shout out, so yeah, there you go. Sorry, Cheesity. I didn't shout out because Justin was telling his story. Sorry, Justin. You may continue.
And I'm like the next person in line, and she looks at me and goes, "Isn't it, Justin?" I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I mean, I can speak now. But I just, say, oh yes, it is. And then it becomes my turn. She greets me with a great big hug, and she asked me, "Oh, Justin, it's good to see you again. How are things?" And I look at her and said, "Rough, to say the least." And because basically I had what some would call a series of unfortunate events. And
so you were being stalked by a bad actor who wants to kill you?
No, but people in my family did die. Yeah. So, she fell, she was, she sent, for those of you who are wondering, it was my grandparents who died recently. And Kathy actually did meet my mother. Because I did take a couple of private coachings from her, and I had my mom set in one of the sessions so that, she can kind of, hear this advice and for her to kind of gather up as well. So she sent her condolences to my mother, which was, very sweet of her. And I had her sign, a bunch of things. And I ended up getting, these things signed twice because at first I didn't have a paint Sharpie. And I always get, whenever I get sealed toys signed, I always get a paint Sharpie because, one, it will dry up better on plastic, and two, it makes a really great 3D effect when clear plastic is signed. So I had originally signed, just like the paper of the packaging, and then when I did get a Sharpie, I brought them back and had them, everybody re-sign their toys. Luckily, it didn't cost me extra. And then suddenly after her, I went to go see Daniel, someone who I really do admire within the show because he's the composer, and the music of the show, or the songs of the show, is what got me back into music. The musical landscape has changed so much, and I hate it. The way it's run with distribution and promotion, with concerts, and the songs of the show just basically kind of got me back into music. And, Daniel, he's like, "Oh, Justin, it's great to see you again." Like, he remembers me. And asked me, how things have been going. And I told him the exact same thing. And he just goes, "Man, how do you keep yourself going?" And I thought about it for maybe a second and told the truth and said, "Seeing you again helps." And he was very touched by that. So touched that it was one of the things I had him sign was the CD of "It's a Pony Kind of Christmas," because I have a collection of signed CD booklets. However, the booklet for this turns out to be a poster. And what he did is that he signed the center of it and wrote "Hope Shines Eternal," which is the ending song in Legends of Everfree. He basically now just dedicated that song to me.
Aww.
That meant a lot. And I had him sign several, I must have spent at least $100 on Daniel alone. No, but in all seriousness, I am a music nerd, and he only makes one appearance a year, if that, because he's got so much work to do, writing all these songs. And anyway, the other thing that happened recently too is his Skype got hacked. I even showed you this, Evan. There was some weird message that I got from him on Skype that had a link where my name for some reason was in it, and when I clicked it, it took me to some weird article about Stephen Hawking and brain control. So
Stephen Hawking controlling people's brains has been a serious issue since the 1800s. So I can understand people trying to update you on the situation.
So I screen capped to send to him, and he was very thankful. Because you have to imagine,
fuck yeah.
He probably keeps all of his work on his computer for when he records, and if something like that were to get hacked or leaked, it could be it could be really damaging to him and the show. So he really appreciated me giving him the heads up. And then the other thing that happened was that for those of you who saw the Hoof Rock episode I did on the Rainbow Rock soundtrack, there was a tweet that I pulled up from Daniel. Now, I don't have a lot of knowledge of how Twitter works, so I was going through like his entire Twitter feed to try to find this one tweet from 2014, and while scrolling through his damn feed, I come across a very adult picture, and I didn't take a picture of this and send it to him because I wasn't sure how it was going to make me look. So at the con is when I got a chance to tell him about it, and he was stunned, to say the least. The first day, he and his wife couldn't find it. The second day, I tried to find it on my phone but couldn't. But the third day, I finally found it on my computer, took a picture, showed it to him, and he knew exactly what it was. This was a former Brony that he was following, who apparently started to do adult stuff and sold videos of it on Amazon. So he unfollowed her, and and he thanked me again for the heads up, because I can only imagine what Hasbro's reaction would be if they were to see that in his Twitter feed.
Anyway, moving on. What else did you do to Brony?
Well, I actually got to do media. I got to interview people, and I got a free ticket because of this.
Yeah, that's the bad part about press passes, though. You have to continuously do press stuff. Like, I have a friend who's blind who does a lot of interviews with celebrities, and she's really good. She's good at what she does.
Well, this one, though, the setup for this was actually a little bit different. It was set up much like a Q&A was. There was only maybe 8 or 10 people there. And you basically, what I did is I propped up my camera, I plugged in my microphone so that I could, ask a question into the mic and then, point it at them to record. And I was the only one who was doing that. Everyone else was either writing down the answers or recording it on some audio device. And Daniel and Kathy both said that I was the only one that was prepared. That was quite the compliment. And in fact, Daniel even told me, dude, you should be doing this for a living. And I told him, I know. In fact, if you actually know, because if you notice on my OC, his cutie mark is one of those interviewer mics. It has a little box on it, because that seems to be what I really seem to excel in. So, anyway, the fact that it said this was very cool, and hopefully I can turn it into a job.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, what else did you do at BronyCon?
I met up with a bunch of Brony content creators, and that was pretty cool because I'm with Brony, who has more subscribers than either of us. And I'm sitting there, just kind of staying close to Brony because he's the only one I know. And someone goes, "Hey, Cruiser!" I'm like, "Someone knows I'm here?"
Well, and it turns out, for some reason, you've been in more fan art with Brony than me. So,
but as it turns out, though, it was Toon Critic. Toon Critic, he's the one who recognized me. He said that he loved what I did with the Rainbow Rock soundtrack and said he loves my energy and wants to see more from me.
You're welcome.
Yes, Evan. I still paid you handsomely, though, for that job.
You're welcome. Dwayne The Rock Johnson, you're welcome.
And turns out there's also a Skype group called The Secret Rift. Where a bunch of these content creators, will, chit chat with each other,
so much for
and they
being
are
a secret.
interested in me, but they want to see more content before they let me in. So, Evan, you know what we got to do. My next episode is going to be Friendship Through the Ages, and I actually had some help with this one from Caps Lock, who has been featured in a Buck to the Face.
Wait, is Caps going to be joining you?
No, he basically helped me write the script because my knowledge of musical theory can only go so deep. He has a vast knowledge of it. And I will give you guys a little bit of an insider of what I needed his help with. In Twilight's segment in the very beginning, I noticed that when she sings the lyrics, time will always get away as it leaves behind another day. I noticed that those chords just made me feel kind of warm and fuzzy for some reason. And then suddenly I had Caps Lock look into it, and as it turns out, what Daniel did was use suspension chords. These are chords that are kind of meant to, make a little bit of tension until what's called the relief chords are played, and everything feels all calm and right with the world. which makes a lot of sense because that beginning of the song is about time getting away from you, and then here comes Fluttershy, our caretaker, to kind of comfort everybody.
Bro hoof. Look, are you
yes, I'm looking at the screen right now.
Bro hoof. Do you see what he's doing?
Yes.
Do you see this monstrosity that I've created?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Did you say you met a couple of Mystery Brony Theater fans there as well?
Yeah, when I first got there was actually someone else who recognized me from Mystery Brony Theater.
How many other fans did you meet? Was it like just the one, or did you you said you met like a couple, like a lot of them? When I heard.
It was a couple, at least ones that admittedly knew the show. There could have been others there who probably did know, and I just they didn't say anything to me.
And you said out loud, everybody was asking the same question: where the hell is Evan?
Yeah, the people that did say they were fans asked, "Where's Evan?" I go, "Oh, Evan." And then they said, "It's okay. Brony's the best character on the show."
Oh, fuck you. I love you. I love you. Keep following your dreams. I don't know. My character on the show is really not one to be loved because he's kind of a dick. But yeah.
I can be a dick in real life, but I at least make up for it.
You're a penis.
At least my penis has not been seen by the public.
Please don't bring that up. You said you would keep that private, man. Come on.
Yeah, we're going to let that one go. But no, it was cool meeting all these content creators because most of them I've seen from A Buck to the Face with Brony. I meet Manga. I go, "Oh my god!" He's like, "Yes, nice to meet you." I go, "You're Diet Silver Quill," and the joy just went from 10 to 0 in 1 second flat. For those of you who don't know,
like it?
What's that?
Do you like that position, Diet Silver Quill? I don't watch Silver.
Well, I never heard of it until I saw A Buck to the Face, and that's what I was referencing.
Oh wait, he was the guy. He was the other Griffin dude.
Yeah, and that's why he gets called Diet Silver Quill. But even though he's got nothing in common with him.
Oh, did Scan make it, by the way?
Scan, no. But one person that did make it, and if you've watched A Buck to the Face, you've seen this person. Kinda. Irish John was there.
Who the hell? What? Yeah, Irish John. I didn't even know he was a Brony.
Well, yeah. Why else would he be, sponsoring Brony's videos?
Well, he's not sponsoring Brony's videos anymore, but yeah.
Oh, but he was though.
And he just became a dick, so yeah. And he was the guy that hacked our site.
Wait, he became a dick? Is that what you said?
No. Well, I don't know. He's the okay, first of all, Irish John was not the real guy who hacked our site. It's just a running joke because the guy who hacked our site, when he left his calling card, he looks like Irish John. Even I showed it to Brony, and he's like, "Oh my god, he does look like Irish John."
And Irish John even left a comment saying, "That was close."
I don't know. I always thought Irish John was like a Ninja Brian kind of character.
You could say that, but he is definitely a military man.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't, I saw Brony talk to this guy at first, and I didn't recognize him, but then I saw the shirt and went, "Oh my god, you're Irish John!" And,
call me Irish John. Imagine he has a very high-toned voice.
He does. He does. I mean,
are you serious?
He does have, a bit of a high-pitched voice.
Are we talking helium high-pitched or fucking...
But what was funny though is that Kichi made this shirt for him because he's kind of accepted amongst the Brony content creators because of what he did, with Brony, and they actually made him a shirt of an anime girl drill sergeant, and it said Sergeant Senpai.
Oh, good for you. Yeah, I would. If I ever get the chance, if I get the money, I would totally go there just to chill out and have some fun. I would definitely do a Mystery Brony Theater panel there.
Yeah, and that's actually something that we are working on.
You said something about you said something about a vendor's table.
Yeah, Evan's client Bruce Carr has been wanting to vend at BronyCon for some time.
Yeah, but
they did it. Let me finish. But now Brony is starting to get into, making, prints and stuff for his show. And I came up with the idea, well, what if, we actually, vend together? Because, they got their thing and I got my autographs. And if Evan wanted to, he could probably sell Shaded Sight Studios t-shirts.
Well, that's the thing with... I'm sorry, can I speak, or you want me to just...
Well, I know that you said you wouldn't be interested in vending. You just really want to go there and have fun.
Yeah, if I bought... all means, when it comes to conventions, vending is the least possible thing I would want to have tried doing, because you have to stand all day at your table hoping someone will buy something while watching everybody else have fun.
So it's an idea, but okay, that was a giant thud.
That and the other reason, like, I don't mind Bruce going to BronyCon, but like, one thing I will say there is that I kind of didn't want to work at BronyCon, because if Bruce goes there, I have to film him.
You probably want to do it like for. You wouldn't have to do it for 72 hours straight. It was just, little snippets here and there.
You don't know how I film Bruce, man.
What?
I have to film his building process, then I gotta film the public display, depending on the sculpture or cosplay, as well as show as many physical interactions as possible, as well as do something new. It's like my new thing now, doing something new with his cosplays. I have to make sure everything's covered. A lot of people that he interacts with, like this time when he did his Mandark thing, I put the GoPro in him. I have to see how that turned out, actually.
Well,
maybe I could do that on here. I could see if I can do it.
We can probably take turns, though.
No.
Why?
It's kind of like the same way when Grandma can only make the cookies good. Only I can make Bruce look good on camera.
Do not underestimate Brony. He's got more training than any of us.
Okay, admittingly, Brony was the guy who shot his Discord video. But then again, he didn't really get much of what I usually get. Namely, group interactions or, like, people that are, like, one shot of... Like, there's this one shot of his Discord video where it just shows Arlene and, Jessica just looking back and his head is completely cut off. But that was, like, his early years, I guess, but I don't know. And
the point is,
the other reason, since Brawny's kind of my competitor, I would say that would kind of give me a motivation of me definitely filming him.
Do it then, buddy. Tough titties, come on.
Like,
but the other thing too is that seriously, I mean, like BronyCon gets like I think this year there was like over 6,000 people. It's gone down some, but this year was only by 1%, and that's because there was. What?
I said, fuck that!
I said, well, that's because there was an anime con and a weekend-long rave going on, so battling for, people's money, I guess you could say.
How big of an anime con?
What?
How big of an anime con? Because clearly the streets were looking at BronyCon. Hell, there was a Starbucks there that was selling a specialized drink for BronyCon.
Actually, yeah, he is right about that.
I think BronyCon was more recognizable. I don't know about an anime convention, but depends on who was there.
But anyway, so it is something that has crossed our mind. Everything is still up in the air. We don't know yet. And the other, let's see, some of the other things that happened. I was doing little live streams from the con to the Green Jello page, and for some reason, now is when I start getting a bunch of hate mail for streaming at a Brony convention. It's like, bitch, this has been going on for 5 months, and this isn't even the first Brony convention that I've been streaming from. And everyone was saying, fuck this guy, fuck Green Jello, and everything you've been doing.
Oh yeah.
Wait till I tell Bill about this. I go, be my guest. He's the one that okayed it. Like, no matter how much I told these people that first of all, they're like, guys, number one, he's starting in his own internet channel, and he has me doing doing a show for him called WTF Music News, and said, because my character's a fanboy, why not go ahead and do live streams of all these excursions that I go to? So he and his crew thought that was a good idea. Number two, this has been going on for 5 months. You are clearly not that big of a fan if you have not been following. That's on you.
I just point out that I loved your response to this.
What's that?
I liked how you responded to this.
Yeah, and I said, these Bronies are pretty cool guys. I mean, and let's face it, a lot of them could probably even kick their asses.
Would you just tell them how you responded to the hate?
Oh, I did another live stream from with all the Brony content creators.
This is amazing.
Where, like this is Justin fanboy, and I can't believe you guys are saying that that being a Brony isn't quote metal enough. Well, you know what? I got some Bronies right here, and they all want to say something to you. And there's like 50 Brony content creators screaming, "Blow me!" in a fancy hotel area.
You have to save that for Hoof Rock. Okay, I want to see how this video turned out. So as you know, like I said, when I was filming Bruce, I put the GoPro in his Mandark suit, and I want to see how it turned out. So I'm going to take a look here. I'm either going to be very disgusted or very proud. Let us find out. Oh, there's me. That's disgusting. I gotta find out where the right. I think it was this. It was this one. Nope, that's me and Justin in the car. Why were we, what was that all about? Is this us? Nope, that's me and Justin in a car. Literally, that's a video of you and me in a car.
Where were we going in this?
I don't know. Like honestly, it's a good shot.
Oh boy, did I bust his balls over that one.
Yes, you did.
Oh, this was when we went to see Star Wars.
Aside from
Oh yeah.
This guy who was making it, he originally, teamed up with.
It's a good
Tom
shot.
To, just a documentary about the room, but then he started figuring out more and more things about.
I was trying to do Dead Mouse's coffee run.
And he just kept digging and digging and digging.
Let me see here. What else do I got in here? Was this us after the movie?
so
The Nostalgia Critic Cinema Snob review.
it's amazing.
Yeah, he.
That's
just
actually
had
did
that,
pretty good at night.
Charmed him where he didn't really quite know what was going on, let alone who he was.
Anyway, yeah, that happened. Let me see what's going on here. What was this? Oh, that was the thing I shot for my dad. I'm trying to, like, look for it. Oh, there's me without a shirt. Oh, wait, I want to see how this turned out. This was me in my swimming pool. You're going to see my hairy chest. So I threw my thing in a swimming pool, and I wanted to see how it turned out. So there, that's the only glimpse of my beautiful Italian torso that you're going to see.
You Italians are.
What?
Was this some sort of a pool party?
Yeah, we were at. Yeah, I had a family party there. So there's my dad just messing with the camera. My dad just told me. There's my dad again doing that stuff. Oh my god, I feel like I'm just spending out time. People, look at my family images. You're gonna be very enthralled by the various memories that I've created. Oh, there's Bruce. Hold on, I want to see if I can how the things are. I think I'm missing out on questions or something like that. If you comment on this, I haven't answered anything. I apologize. Anyway, let me just refresh that page. I have to see how it turned out. Which one was it? God damn it! This is it.
You should really label these.
Well, I just pulled these out of my camera, man. I just pulled these out of my camera.
Oh, good luck browsing.
Oh, here it is. Let me see.
Anyway, I met Josh Scorcher while I was there. Pretty cool dude. If you were to greet him, he greets you with a hug. He does not do handshakes.
This is.
My ego's super big, so I don't care.
This could have been better.
Huh?
This could have been a little bit better. That was his Mandark laugh.
Oh yeah.
Can I just point out that the convention that I went to sucked ass?
It wasn't good?
Yeah, it sucked ass.
In what way?
Well, okay, here's how it went. First day one, it was good. The other days, it was terrible.
Why?
There was nobody there. Nobody was there. So everybody's just started leaving early. Like, it was crazy. I mean, the people there were nice, and she was really optimistic. The owner of the convention was really optimistic about it. But, like, yeah, there was barely anybody there, and it was, like, very distracting and very bad for the people going there.
And more of your shenanigans.
My god, half this video you're going to be seeing me with my damn camera just, like, doing whatever I want. So, yeah, the whole, situation right there. Oh my god, this video is starting to make me nauseous. The video turned out okay, I guess.
Wait, will you join the side of evil?
What do you think?
Yeah, that's it. You are indeed one of the people who I will definitely say is a
Justin?
The sound of those balloons going off is very distracting.
Well, I'm going to be muting it.
Okay, good. I'd like to see the front of it.
What, the front of it?
Yeah. I want to see what it looks like.
Just me in my old scout uniform. I hadn't showered for like 48 hours that day. I'm sorry, I was wearing that same pair of pants for like 48 hours. Funny thing is, I think one video we actually do come across Eddie Deason. Oh, there's you and me again. I'll just
Greg Pabbage owns it.
Active Enterprises?
Yeah.
Active Enterprises is bankrupt, man. It's gone. Is it?
No, I remember watching.
Are you wearing an umbrella hoodie?
Back before he did the whole
No.
Cheetahman kick.
Oh yeah. I thought.
When did you have a Resident Evil
bought the
hoodie?
company because
I have two.
He found and published the original.
I have that
Cheetahman
and a green one that says stars.
Yeah. Miami, I think.
Yeah,
You're always hanging on that thing. Am I really not that bad of a driver?
It's still there.
No, it's just something that I do personally. It's just kind of my thing.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how you're gonna react when you have to wake up at 6 a.m. on
And
Saturday.
sell it on eBay.
We find like the legendary Cheetah Man 3.
I can still go though, because remember things are still up in the air.
What?
If you know, like the weather is fine and whatnot. Remember that's still up in the air.
I will fly to Pandora in the middle of a tornado. We should get some footage of the storm if that's the case. Just chill out. Hell, if there's a storm there'll be nobody there. I don't mind going. Disney doesn't close unless it's a hurricane, so yeah.
Let's see. I can now officially say that I've met all three Cutie Mark Crusaders as well. But one other cool thing though that I got to do was Michelle Krieber and Black Griffin performed there. And I've done concert photography before, but in this case, I actually got to record some concert footage. And what I would like to do is that with all the footage that I took from BronyCon and the interviews I did, I want to do a giant ConStars BronyCon special, where I obviously I interview, people from, the guests, as well as kind of show footage of the festivities.
So you just took random B-roll of the entire convention?
Not the entirety of it, just the parts that I thought would make for good good filler.
No, dude. That's a good thing to do, but you want to get as much filler as possible. Do you know how I know that's a good thing? Because I do a mini-series surrounding it.
But I also had Brony take pictures for me, too. And that was the other thing. I was supposed to pick up my badge the day before, but because we were falling a bit behind, I called them up and asked, like, hey, we're driving up from Florida. Is there any chance I could pick it up tomorrow? They said, sure. And I said, okay, is it possible that my friends could pick up their badge as well? One of them is my assistant. We said that, Brony was my assistant so that he can actually get his badge early. And they said, this guy's your assistant? Yeah. He said, okay, we're going to throw a badge in for him too.
Oh, gee, goody. Thanks a lot. Anyway, we'll say one thing. Speaking of badges, Jackie said if I'm coming next year, she's gonna make us Mystery Brony Theater badges.
Yeah, our dear friend Jackie Paint has been at BronyCon and Everfree Northwest, and she's been very successful there. And she's hoping that she got why you couldn't go though. I mean, you had another event booked with your client, so it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I was getting paid.
So she's definitely looking forward to having all of us there.
Yeah.
And hopefully I am too.
If only we can get Zach down there, then we're all set. That's the thing. If I ever did an autograph table for Mystery Brony Theater, I know what I'd do. I'd just record like one of those like basic interviews of all of our characters, and I'd have it running on a laptop while we were there. It just like shows us being interviewed, and it just shows Evan Bernardi, dick ass. Concert Cruiser for some reason likes to wear sweatbands. Concert Cruiser has not played an instrument in his life.
Yes, I have.
I know I know I was being I was joking in there.
Now, everyone, I am going to turn my camera on here for a little bit because I want to show you the newest member of my family.
Oh, goody. Hold on.
This is Skeeter.
No one can see it. There we go. We got another one.
This here is Skeeter.
Oh, Skeeter.
She is a rescue kitten. And we're fostering her for the weekend, but we may end up keeping her depending on how my other cats get along with her. Right now, they just don't. They do not like her, but doing this takes time. But she is very adorable. She's very loving, and like I said, she was a rescue. So if you look at her face, you can see it's a little roughed up. But she is just a sweetie pie. What can I say?
Does she like hanging on her shoulder because she clearly doesn't?
I'll turn off my camera now. But I'm just a total sucker for cats. I'm sorry. I just am. Dogs are cool, do not get me wrong. But I like cats because they're calm, cool, collective, and quiet.
Well, yeah, I mean, like... oh my god.
And seeing Dusty, was cool. I told him, your buddy Thurox says hi. For those of you who don't know, Thurox is my sound guy. They apparently know each other. And I told Dusty that I am friends with Green Jello, and he goes, "You know Green Jello, you asshole!"
Oh yeah, somebody in the van knew about them. And when I was with Eddie D's, and he didn't know who they were. I think he said he might have heard of them, but like the other guys heard about them, and they were like, "No, explain the whole jelly thing, why it's spelled green jelly."
And so I did a stream with him, and that was like the only stream I did where people kind of backed off a little bit, because if you've seen Dusty, he's someone who looks like he can throw down. And I'm actually trying to see if one of these Brony conventions might be interested in booking Green Jello, because Bill, he's always willing to play for fans. And I've been telling people like our friend Thespio about Bill, because his fans wants music covers from him. I said, maybe we should do one with my friend Bill from Green Jello. And I sent him an email telling him everything that my friend Bill has done, and I'm just waiting to hear back from him.
Oh yeah, I would love to have Thess on our one of our chat rooms. I mean, he probably doesn't even care about me. Were there any analysts that knew about me when you were there? Saying a lot right now.
No, I'm really trying to think here, because I know Brony has told some of them about Mystery Brony Theater 4000. But they weren't, like, they knew the show, but they didn't know you.
Of course they didn't, which is ironic, because I'm the only one that everybody else who watches knows. No offense.
No, that's cool.
I don't want to be the face of Mystery Brony Theater. Everybody else does their part. I just want to say that now I've probably told this on the stream before. I do not want to be the main face of Mystery Brony Theater. My character's fine, that's cool, but at the same time, he's kind of a jackass. But, I mean, he's not a real reflection of me, but, like...
He totally is.
Yeah. Also, I've been getting a lot of questions about what happened to the episode. I'm sorry if I changed the subject here. One of the episodes was we had. If you guys didn't see the Facebook post, we had to temporarily. I messed up everything. I had to talk to Jason, and 2 weeks ago, after some recent events that took place in Charlottesville, I had to temporarily suspend Woe Is Me for a little bit because of that joke that I make. You know, the one I regret. I continuously say I regret. I'll probably put it back in the public when things cool down, but, like, right now I'm still trying to get over it. So yeah, you're not going to see that on Facebook or on the YouTube page for a little bit, so
it will be back, just give it some time.
Yeah, it's going to be more awkward than what we're doing in the next episode.
So, and one thing that Brony did is that we recorded some video of him in his King Sombra costume, kind of walking around and trolling people. We called it King Sombra Ruins BronyCon.
King Sombra Ruins BronyCon.
Yeah, and he actually he bumped into someone else who was cosplaying as him, and his costume was just as intricate. And he's like, aha! There is an imposter of me. He's like, no, I'm the real me. No, I'm the real me. And one of them goes, we'll settle this on the dance floor.
And did he dance?
What's that?
Did he dance?
No, but what we did do is that...
Do you have footage of Brony dancing? Because if so, send it to me so I can see it for my viewing pleasure.
Well, he has the footage now. But what we did do is... there was actually a DJ playing upstairs, and there was, a small group of people who were dancing to it. So what we did is that we had them all lined up, all doing their little dance moves. So I'm kind of, I'm panning across all these dancers, and I guess the Brony with his arms crossed with a pouty face on.
Brony can dance, I know that. He can dance. He always does dance moves he's not supposed to do because it hurts him to death, but, I have not seen him once since he's been back.
What's that?
I have not seen him once since he's returned.
Well, we should get together then. Which we will at some point, because we're going to be doing a Buck to the Face Legends of Everfree.
Spoilers. Does he not want us to tell about that?
I don't know. But I do know that someone was asking about it on his YouTube page, and he said, due to, some things that happened, it got pushed back, and I responded to this guy saying, I can vouch for this, he is telling you the truth.
Yeah, except you have to come down here on a Thursday. He only has off on Thursday.
I will look into it. But however, there is one Thursday, September 28th, I'm looking to take off because Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes are going to be in West Palm Beach.
Yeah.
And yeah, hopefully I can meet them and especially Kevin Smith, because I met Jason, and have him sign the other the Jay and Silent Bob picture I got from Jason.
Nice. I mean, that'd be cool. I mean, it's a shame you can't see him at MegaCon because,
Yeah, but with MegaCon, so many things came up. Like, granted, I mean, you still got a free day pass for it, but with October being what it is, I don't know if I'll be able to do it, and also with September, because with October we got Bruce's wedding. I also got Kurt coming down, as well as if I can, Spooky Empire, even if it's just for a day. That's the one thing that our caretaker Mike looks forward to is that.
Oh, I want to look up.
We love horror. We love going to these conventions. And speaking of horror, I finally saw for the first time Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh yeah, how fun was that?
And all I have to say is things that make you go. Ugh.
Yeah, right. It was really bad. I mean, bad in a way it's hard to watch. Who else is coming to this thing? I only seen the Cinema Snobs review of Cannibal Holocaust, and I would never want to see it. I only saw clips from it, like that ending scene where the girl gets raped to death.
Mm-hmm. And as everybody has told me, the animal deaths were real.
Yeah, that's the thing about Amazonian cannibal movies. They're fuck off. Anyway, let me see there. Who else is coming here? Friggin' Maurice Lamers?
Yep.
The guy, he's coming there. Friggin' Veronica Taylor's there. Oh, I met him, Trina Nishimura before. She's a nice girl. Sean and Chris are going to be there. Shit.
Who?
Sean and Chris. Sean Schimmel and Chris Sabat. Bell's going there.
Well, you should still go, dude.
I can't.
You have a day pass.
Yeah, but I can't. But I don't have a car that can get me there.
Does Jason?
No, Jason can't drive, Justin. He's epileptic.
What about his girlfriend? Because the reason why I'm asking is I know he goes to Orlando MegaCon, and I know he's got to get transportation somehow.
He gets it from his parents. Besides, I really want to keep my money in gear. If I go to a convention, I'm going to go on a spending spree.
Well, maybe we can give it to Arlene then. Just saying. So anyway, yeah, needless to say, BronyCon was a lot of fun.
Well, that took out a lot of the thing there.
And now Evan can talk to you about Death Note. While I go to the bathroom.
We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. So, fucking Death Note. Fucking Death Note. The movie. Netflix. Ugh. Where do I even begin? Where do I even begin? Where do I even frickin' begin? Whose name should I write it down first? Whose name should I do it? Should I choose the guy who played L? No, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna choose the guy who did L. You took a bad actor and you made him really die. That was my reaction to Death Note. Full off. Now, first of all, let me just be clear here. Death Note the movie. Who was expecting something? Was anybody expecting something? I wasn't expecting much. I mean, like, I knew they were gonna make changes. I knew they were gonna do some different stuff from the anime, but like, the stuff they did. I'm just gonna be browsing around screenshots for those who haven't seen it. Was just too distracting to be classified as a change. It was just wow. Ugh, it's much more harder to talk about this when Justin's not here. Yeah, it just shows I need more of an assistance. Anyway, moving on. What could be said about the Death Note movie that hasn't been said already? Oh yeah, Light's disappointing. Mia is disappointing. L is disappointing. Wataru is disappointing. Ryuk, he was the best part. Not even kidding here. Here, Willem Dafoe as Ryuk, he was the best thing in the movie. Everybody knows it. Anyway, to discuss Death Note in a way, I'm a big fan of that thing. It's like my second favorite anime of all time because, you know, my favorite anime goes to obvious things that I've explained before. But basically what I'm trying to say is that, in my opinion, it's one of the most smartest animes ever. If not the best. I mean, what do you expect? It was a manga turned anime turned into a movie. I'm sorry, a live-action movie, a couple of live-action movies, and then it was turned into a stage opera, and then a live-action TV show. Holy fuck. Oh my god, what can I say that hasn't been said about Death Note the movie? Just like thinking about it makes me cringe. Thinking about it made me cringe. I know it was announced before it came out that the creators loved the movie. They liked the new American turn they got. Like, they liked the ending. They didn't see anything that was expected, like anything like that. But like, oh my god. There's just so much I could just talk about. I can't think of anything else, man. Like, the ending was great. I like the ending of the movie. I'm not going to spoil anything there, but it kind of demonstrates what the light Yagami that we knew and love. If you're not a fan of Death Note, fucking watch it. Do not watch this movie until you have seen the series. That's my piece of advice to you. That is my piece of advice to you. Period. And now I'm going to continue here ranting like a school kid. One of the things in the movies that's brought up, I'm going to have to count this out before Justin gets here. Great. How nice. Great. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh yeah, there we go. So yeah, there were new rules to the Death Note that were given that I thought were really dumb. I'm gonna explain one when Justin comes back. But like, one of the things that's just like, oh my god, like, what did they do to Light? What the hell did they do to Light? It was, oh my god, like they made him from an intelligent, patient, popular badass to a freaking motherfucking whiner. What the fuck? I'm sorry. I could just go on and on and on about how bad this movie was. Like, really. I don't even know what happened to me. Like, first of all, his name isn't Light Yagami, it's Light Turner. Big, cool. It's an American remake. Like, it takes place in America. Good. I'm not even with the whitewashing thing. I'm just gonna say that right there. I'm just gonna clear that up. Whitewashing, I don't care. It's an American remake. Cool, you gotta make change. It takes place in America. Ha ha ha, my country to the... But basically, like, you could at least give him the same traits as him. You could give him the same traits as the real Light Yagami. Even if his name is Light Turner. I mean, maybe it's a different character, but, like, I don't know what...
Well, let me ask you this. I'm back. Seeing how this is your thing, would you say the interpretations of the characters was worse than what they were for what a lot of people would say the Super Mario Brothers movie?
Yes.
Wow, you think it was worse than that?
Well, I wouldn't say... Okay, maybe not. Well, in the Super Mario Brothers movie, they're plumbers and they go save the princess. Light Yagami is like... I'm sorry, Light Turner is just this guy who's just messed with at school. He's just that stereotypical nerd that's just doing homework for people for money and just, like, doing that stuff. In the original series, Light Yagami was always to himself. He was an intelligent, popular guy. He was a ladies' man. Every girl loved him. And he still didn't really have much time because he was studying for his finals or something like that. But in the end, this Light Yagami is doing things that the regular Light Yagami would not do. I know I'm going to keep... His name is Light Turner, by the way. I'm just going to continue saying that. But, like, you know, the guy... Like, I don't want to spoil too much in the anime. Like, especially not the ending. But, like, here's the thing. Like, just... Light Yagami was never a brawler for the most part. Well, he could fight, but he wasn't... And he was athletic, unlike Lelouch. But, like, he was just a guy who would never, like, gamble or anything like that. He was just he actually was a character that would help the police to solve mysteries. He was that smart. And he solved, like, 3 cases. But, like in this movie, it's the same setup for Death Note. Light finds the Death Note that falls out of the air because Ryuk, not being referred to as a Shinigami, it's referred to as a death god, which is, okay, fair enough. Shinigami is Japanese for death god. But he's not in Japan, he's in America. I remember specifically in the anime he chose Japan for a specific reason. But, like, he goes in there, Light's, like, gets punched in the face and knocked out, and he is, after, like, defending a student being bullied, and he is still suspended from school for doing other people's homework. Even though he comes into the principal's office, he has, like, a friggin' piece of... What's the thing that they put on the black guy? It's like a piece of steak or something like that? Or an ice pack?
You're asking the wrong guy.
It was like an ice pack, like the Sandlot kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, like a piece of meat.
Yeah, but it wasn't a piece of meat, it was like an ice pack. He comes in there and the principal's like, you're gonna... If I catch you doing this again... I hear you've been giving away... You know it's wrong to be doing homework for other students and prevent them from learning. And the first thing coming out of his mouth is like, you do realize I am holding an ice pack to my eye, right? like the nurse finds him knocked out, and that's the thing. Like, really? That's like in the Fantastic Four when friggin' Reed Richards enters the science fair, and they're like, this isn't a magic show, it's science, and he clearly makes a teleportation device. So yeah, he finds the Death Note, and he does the first wrong thing of showing it to a girl. He shows the power of what he does to a girl, after he realizes what it can do. No, you probably shouldn't do that. You should the object of light, he's trying to become the god of the new world. He wants people to know that someone is behind it. They don't want to know who it is, though. First of all, not to mention they changed a lot of rules to the Death Note. Like, I have the rule... The Death Note here comes with... This replicant Death Note comes with all the rules. Every single rule is placed in like, one of those scene transitions for every episode. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm.
Like, right before it cuts to commercial, it shows a scene transition. And every single time it does, it cuts to the Death Note rulebook. And there's a lot of rules in this Death Note. So one in particular is in the words of Ryuk, Rule 21, like, I believe it might have been 21. If not, if you saw it, whatever. Is that a person can... the time of death can last no longer than 2 days. Than 2 days, which is Rule 21. That is not what Rule 21 is. Rule 21 is those with the eye power of the god of death will have eyesight over 3.6 in human measurement, regardless of the original eyesight. It's a thing in the anime, just don't question it. But, like, that's fine. Changes, whatever. When you want to do that, whatever. Fine. That didn't bother me too much. I'm just saying there some of the changes, like, is just distracting for the fans. I'm just gonna say that there. And don't even get me started about what they did with L. Don't even get me started with L. Don't even make me start with him. I will say one thing. I did not care if he was black. You can make him purple. I don't care. If L's, you want to make L black, go make him in black. It's fine. But, like, you know, like, when I watched this, like I said, I wasn't expecting much from a Death Note, like, adaptation in America. It was like, it's kind of like when they did Dragon Ball Evolution. Which I will say as a ballpark, it isn't as bad as Dragon Ball Evolution. I mean, Justin, you hated that. Justin?
I'm here. Based on what... I have not seen it, but based on what I've seen from testimonies from actual DBZ fans, yes, it is that bad.
Yeah, except I'm getting the feeling if you watch it, you're going to try and defend it.
Probably not.
Yeah,
because I only defend things that I personally know and like. I don't really know DBZ, so I really can't defend it.
I know. That's why I've been trying to get you to watch frickin' Death Note, because clearly you're obsessed over sending me articles about this thing.
Well, I'm just kind of curious to know what the reason why I did this, Peel, because I will defend things that I do like, even though a lot of people say they're bad, because things like the Super Mario Brothers movie is nowhere near as bad as people love to say it is. Now, there's a reason why I phrase it that way, because people love to exaggerate, and to me, exaggeration is worse than lying. Because lying, for the most part, when people lie, it's usually some little white lie that really is not very harmful, and they're just trying to, see if they can get, like maybe a discount on something. It's pretty harmless. But exaggeration blows things out of proportion and makes the situation worse. When it comes to something like the Super Mario Brothers movie, yeah, it's not a good adaptation. But if you look at it as just some cyberpunk movie that has Mario references, it's pretty good. If anything, it was kind of a more adult take on the series, which, is fine. It definitely could have been a lot worse. It could have been like the Double Dragon movie, where its only real connection to the game was just a picture of the arcade cabinet.
Oh yeah, that was another thing in the movie. Just like I said there, I wasn't big on the whitewashing thing, but of it taking place in America. Except here's one of the things that was distracting. Light Turner is looking through a book where it shows images of Ryuk as depicted in Japanese culture. If that's the case, why the fuck is Ryuk in America? That like I said, I don't mind whitewashing, but like, he's a creature in Japanese lore. Why is he in America? And don't you dare say he went on vacation, because this guy here, he is not the type of guy who would go on vacation, honestly. Unless there was apples. Yeah, that's the thing about the running joke with Ryuk. In the anime, Ryuk doesn't really do anything. Which is ironic, because you actually met Ryuk's voice actor at BronyCon. Hold on, I gotta put on the screen share.
Which one?
What's his name? Scootaloo's father?
Brian Drummond. Okay.
Brian Drummond, yeah, he was the voice of Ryuk. Like I said, the only thing good in the movie was Ryuk. This was him in the Japanese version. And then again, in the live action movie, he's mostly hidden in shadow, and when he is shown, he looks awesome. I mean, like, look at him. Freaking Willem Dafoe as Ryuk. That was the best. That was like one of the best things in the movie. But here's the thing: in the movie, he's more of like one of those guys that's trying to tempt Light into using the Death Note. He's also one of those guys that's just like, what's the word? He's just that guy who's just there. But in the anime, he's just there to watch the show. He dropped the Death Note because he was bored and wanted to watch the show, and he's like trying to tempt Light into giving him the Death Note so he can go find another person.
So basically, he is just kind of watching the scenarios unfold.
Yes, that's what. Yes, throughout the anime, he uses the phrase "humans are very interesting." Like, he's like, that's why he literally comes back from the Shinigami realm. He's literally saying, "I did this because I was bored." He wants to see what happens when a human gets the power to kill anybody at any time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a really good anime. Like the ending of Death Note is really open to many interpretations. But like just amazing. Like, if you did have that power, somebody will be after you. Just like, you know. I will say up front, this part in the movie was the one thing that pissed everybody off. First of all, I will say they got L's character habits right. He's a guy who eats candy and a lot of sugar, and he sits weirdly.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I will explain there. It's not explained directly why he sits like that, but when it's brought up, he says, "I have to sit like this because if I do, at least 40% of my intelligence will drop." Which I kind of get. Like when you're doing homework, you want to or when you're writing, you have to. People usually like to come down and bend down towards the paper. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fine, you got a learning style, whatever. Here's the thing, though. Granted, in the movie, they didn't bring in the Shinigami eyes. I'm not going to go with that into detail, but basically it's like the Shinigami, in this case like Ryu, can have the ability of seeing a person's name and lifespan above their head. And they can give anybody who has a death note is allowed to take these eyes from them. But for a cost. I'm not going to tell you what the cost is, though. So, here's the thing. This shot, which I will admit I love this shot in the movie, of them just looking at each other. Friggin' L walks up to Light, just straight out accuses him of being Kira, which he does in the other anime, but he's really, he kind of bleeds into it. Until he says, "I suspect you of being Kira," and he's all calm about it. But this guy gets in his face and everything. And the first thing he does, he's sitting there, he removes the mask from his face. Looking at Light directly. Granted, in defense, he doesn't know what his name is, because he goes by the name L. In the anime, he then changes his name to Ryuzaki, but it's not fully explained. The object of the Death Note is when you sign someone's name, is you gotta know spell their name right, know what it is, and picture their face.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's many more rules to it than that. But
go ahead.
He suspects in the movie Kira, whether or not Kira needs a face or not. So he goes up to this guy that he expects being Kira. You pull off the mask. He knows what your face is like now. Not to mention, there's this one scene where he gets Watari to get L's, where he can control people to do anything he wants. He gets L's assistant Watari to go to what I assume to be the Whammy house, which is the school-esque house that L grew up in, to go and see if he can find the lost file of L and find what his name is. Why don't you just make the Death Note write down, okay, Watari goes up, picks a gun, shoots L and himself in suicide? Why don't you do that? Instead of make the big trip down there. It almost worked with... Well, never mind, that was a bad one. I was going to say, he almost did... No, I don't want to spoil it. It's it's so stupid, man.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. What changes would you say were good?
Changes that were good. Okay, yeah, I'm going to be fair on that one.
Yeah, and there's a reason why I like to ask people this, because anybody can beat down bad cinema. But to actually defend it, to me, is a way more interesting conversation. Now, granted, sure, he's not really defending it, but to try to find some good things out of something that you consider bad, or at least, not up to snuff, to me, it's still a way better conversation.
Well, that's the thing. Like I said, I keep telling you, and I keep telling everybody else, I did try and watch the movie as its own, but like I said, as you can clearly see, it's distracting for the fans. It's way too distracting. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I mean, you can understand that, right?
Yeah.
But, what could I say about what the changes they made? Holy shit. I will say some of the stuff they did leave out, leaving out the Shinigami eyes. I thought that kind of made the plot a little simpler. I don't know if they did in the Japanese movie or not, but, leaving them out made things a lot more easier and didn't really have much... wouldn't be as confusing to anybody else. But one thing I will say is that I like that image. One thing I will say is it's hard to decide, man. I mean, what changes they made. I mean, it shows Light actually killing terrorists. I will say that, but in the end, huh?
Well, how about this? Watch Mojo did a top 10 of the things that were not good in this movie. But one that, as someone who's an outsider who probably wouldn't mind, was the gore. Would you say that was actually a good addition?
No, like Death Note isn't not known for being gory. Like I said, Kira has a very specific technique of killing people, so that way people know that it's his wrath. Like Light's goal is to become the god of the new world, and he continuously makes people die of heart attacks because it's like his calling card. You know what I'm saying? Like he died of a heart attack out of nowhere. It's Kira. But like when a guy, like all the deaths are like Final Destination like deaths. Like it just happens out of spontaneous, like, coincidence. Like the first death where this bully gets decapitated. He doesn't even get decapitated. His head explodes. Like he writes down so and so decapitation. And then what the next thing that happens is a car comes speeding by and gets in and hits another car because another guy, he was stopping because the guy was running in the street, and a ladder comes down and hits him in the head, causing his head to explode for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, like I said, this was kind of like in the original anime, Light writes down a name to him kind of like experiment, and it ends up with a heart attack. The object is you have to write down the time, what causes their death within 40 seconds, or else it's going to end in a heart attack. You can also time out the time of day when the amount of time a death takes place. That's kind of like over convoluted or something like that. I will say the 2-day thing is okay, but it kind of like defeats the purpose of preventing like Light from trying to accomplish his goal. I will say the ending was good too. Like it left on a puzzling twist note of what happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, I'm not going to tell the ending, but like I do agree with the creator saying they like the ending most of all. Like it's something they never expected.
Yeah, that was the other thing too, is that the creators of Death Note actually liked the movie.
Yeah, no, they like kind of creativity. I mean, like they probably think this is common. First of all, like fans would probably wail on it or something like that. Like, there was some good stuff in there. There was some okay stuff, but not as good as you'd expect it to be, especially for fans.
Yeah, because I know there was a similar thing with the whole Ghostbusters movie.
Well, yeah, except this one that was okay. This one sucked.
Well, no, what I mean is that the creators, the original Ghostbusters, they actually gave their approval on at least the new cast. But however, I know Dan Aykroyd recently blamed Paul Feig for how the movie turned out and why people were so divisive on it, or decisive, I should say.
Yeah. I mean, I heard the movie was okay. It wasn't good, but it was okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a rental. Yeah. It's, if you're curious to see, at least where, Ghostbusters could go, at least special effects wise, because here's the thing, for me, there's positives and negatives for both practical and CGI. The cool thing about, the positive thing about practical effects is that they age so much better. They look impressive. The bad thing about them, however, is you don't have a whole lot of range. As far as movement goes with the characters. However, with CG, that doesn't age, very well, depending on how well it's done. However, you can do so much more with the ghosts. So there's positives and negatives to both.
Yeah. Like I was actually curious about. I was actually looking through the rules of the Death Note here, and apparently, I was wondering what would happen if you ran out of pages, and there's literally a rule in here that says the Death Note shall never run out of pages.
So I'm guessing what probably what happens is that when the pages start to fill up, the words you wrote down start to go away.
That's a good theory. It's not really explained in the anime, but because compared to my book, the book is a lot bigger. It's like regular marble notebook kind of sized. So, not to mention, here's the other thing they also did with Misa. Misa was not good. If by all, Misa was the second worst portrayed character. First of all, in the anime, Misa is a character who also spontaneously gets a death note. It's explained in the anime, but she's trying to find Kira because she wants to thank him because her parents were killed by a robber, and all these years, this court trial trying to find the guy that killed her parents went on, and people are starting to get second thoughts about it, and he went out innocent. But Kira killed him, so she wanted to find him and say thanks, and she would do anything for him, like she was trying to help Kira and become his girlfriend, or Light, sorry, like she wanted to be with him at all times. She even offered him his death note and offered to use her for anything because she has the eyes. She says, if you don't even trust me, you can kill me. I don't care. Just please let me just try and help you. Like, she's like that one faithful person. In the movie, she freaking... I don't even know if I should even spoil it. Of what she does.
You might as well say it. Everyone's been bitching about it.
She writes down Light's name in the notebook, threatening him by saying, if you don't give me this notebook, you're gonna die by the end of the night. And if you do, I'll burn the page, because that apparently cancels the death. I don't know what that's about. But, like, yeah, Misa would never do that to Light. Never.
Does make you wonder what, the age-old question, what were they thinking?
Yeah, like...
Because, any fanboy, can tell you, like, they've had those kinds of moments. Because I certainly had it with Linkin Park when they released their new album.
Yeah.
Light, Chester's death, we're still, grieving over that, but I'm still not going to say it's a good album. No, it's terrible. And the album they released prior to that was one of their most heavy and most intriguing albums of all time, at least in their catalog, The Hunting Party. How do you go from something like that to sell-out pop rate trash?
Yeah, it's like Steel Panther and the X album. See what I did there?
Yes, I did.
I mean, it's not just because someone dies doesn't make it good, unless you're Michael Jackson. But
and just like with this movie, I mean, obviously I have not seen either the anime or the movie, both of them, but I do know that Death Note is very popular. It has a very dedicated fan base, and it seems like they made so outlandish changes that it makes you go, "What were you thinking?"
Just like. Yeah, Light Yagami, he's supposed to be an intelligent thing. L is supposed to be a patient supercomputer. Like, there's one scene in the scene where they're in the restaurant. Like, L says two things that are just changed in the end. He says, I'm not gonna take you in yet. I don't call checkmate, mate. I only call checks, or something like that. And then he says, I don't kill people. I don't even carry a gun. It's too distracting. Later in the scene, it shows him chasing Light Yagami with no full 100% confirmation of him being Kira, just because Watari dies, and he has a gun in a briefcase. He's chasing Light with a gun all over the city. Like, what the fuck?
At least with the Super Mario Brothers movie, we got an answer. They said they want to make it more adult because the people who grew up with Mario were now out of high school. Which, okay, at least we have an answer. This, I'm kind of curious to see to know what they were thinking.
Like you said, I would recommend watching the anime first to kind of see what they did. Like I said, it's debatable whether this was even based on the anime. Like, you look it up and it says it's based on the Japanese movie. Like,
did the Japanese movie have that many changes?
No, the Japanese movie is said to be one of the perfect anime adaptations. It wasn't perfect, but like it was still passable. Like, L is still patient. He's really cool, but like they changed the ending to that one, and it was actually okay. It was okay. It was actually close to the ending, to the original ending. Like, the original rules is that Ryu is there because he's bored. And here's the other thing about using the Death Note. Light assumes that Ryuk's there for his soul. He's like, no, I'm not going to do anything. That Death Note's yours. You can do whatever you want. If you don't want it, just give it back to me. I'll just wipe your memories. He's like, okay, that's a good deal. And the other thing is, if you use a Death Note, you can't go to heaven or hell. You have to go to... It's debatable where you go. You go to a place called Mew, but it's, like, debatable what that is.
Sounds like a Pokemon.
That when it's Light's time to die, Ryuk will write his name in his Death Note.
Now, so there's more than one Death Note.
Yeah,
then.
the Shinigamis kill people through Death Notes. These notebooks. They're like many.
So, okay, but there's more than one though.
Yeah, there's more than one.
Okay.
Like, Misa has one. There's like 2 to 3 in the anime that are in the human world. And like I said, the whole conflict is is Light trying to find out L's real identity, and L trying to find out who's Kira. And despite him him trailing down Light, and despite him, according to him, being like a 3% chance of him being Kira, he's still on his ass. And the plan and the like lengths to what Light goes to try and get just like kill L is just ridiculous. I'm not gonna tell you, but like one of his plans is planned out so brilliantly. It's just all based on luck. That's why he can't stand a chance against Lelouch.
But there, out of all the things that make you go, what were they thinking? I think the one that we all kind of subconsciously want to know what they were thinking is probably the Gem and the Holograms movie.
I didn't see that. I didn't see Gem and the Holograms. I wasn't even a big fan of Gem and the Holograms. I respected it. I respected it because I know it did some stuff with female domination, and I thought, okay, I heard it's subtle and it's really good, but you know what I mean by female domination, like, you know, it's like feminism and everything like that, but they did it in like an acceptable way, not like preachy or anything.
I know, but my point is that we all know that it deviated so far from the cartoon that you'd go, what?
Can I also point out the giant middle finger in the credits that they do to the fans?
They do?
You never knew about this? Okay, in the credits, before the movie came out, the creator wrote on the Twitter saying, hey, the Gem and the Holograms movie's coming out. We want to collect videos about how much you like Gem. Gem, not just...
Oh, yeah, that!
And at the end, like, it's showing their appreciation. They have, like, the show in the background. Nobody knew what Gem was going to be portrayed as in the movie.
I remember that now.
Those poor people. That was actually one of the criticisms. People felt really betrayed by it.
I think they have a right to feel betrayed.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you know, I want to know what were they thinking, because even with the first Street Fighter movie, they gave an explanation. They said they originally had a lot more fighting in it, but the studio took it out. So, I mean, that's why, you know, there's only that one giant fight scene at the end. So, you know, at least we have an answer to something. So, or at least the criticisms.
I never saw the Street Fighter movie. I know there's a sequel that's actually worse.
Well, for me, the first Street Fighter movie is a legit guilty pleasure.
Yeah,
but the reason why I say that's a guilty pleasure and not the Mario movie is because the Mario movie at least got the face value of the game right. The Street Fighter movie didn't at all. It was turned to this goofy war drama, if anything, which was not, you know, the game at all. And sure, and like I said, it was supposed to have more fighting, and it originally did, but like I said, the studio took it out. And it was also made to be intentionally funny, not like as in, you know, tongue firmly in cheek, not like, you know, Nicolas Cage, Wicker Man funny.
Jake Arnold, what's up? How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Like one of the most infamous lines from the Street Fighter movie was M. Bison and his crew are watching a live feed.
Oh, I love that scene.
Yeah, a truck full of explosives coming to their into like their fortress, and one of the guys goes, "Quick, change the channel!
Change the channel!" And they all like look at him like, "Fuck."
Like, that was legitimately funny. Another one was actually in the very beginning when two people were about to go fight. Then in comes Jean-Claude Van Damme with two missiles like on some sort of a tank, that, you know, immediately stopping the fight. You know, that was funny, but people were like, "Ah, come on!" But no, it was meant to be funny. Another was with that same character going, "You got paid?" So, and just Raul Julia's performance, which, rest in peace.
Yeah, I mean, like, that was not... I will say, of course, he could have... Apparently Jake Arnold's been hunting. I don't hunt, I think... I don't want to kill animals, but, that was not... he had to go... He only did the movie because his kids wanted it, but, like... You know, it's kind of sad that was his last movie. He was a good actor, man.
It was, but he still gave a good performance, though.
That scene where he's fighting, he's just literally just flying into one end of the room and it's hitting him and then back and doing the same thing.
I'm talking about his dialogue, because, yeah, if it was called to be, goofy, he did great with it. If it was meant to be taken seriously, then he did fantastic. Like probably one of the best burns he does in the movie is with Chun-Li. I think that's her name.
Chun-Li in the movie?
Chun-Li, is that how you pronounce it?
Chun-Li.
Chun-Li, okay.
She wasn't. I know they made a sequel for Chun-Li, but I don't remember a movie. Her being in the movie.
No, what happened was that there was a scene between M. Bison and Chun-Li, and she was basically telling about when Bison killed her dad. And he goes, sorry, I don't remember that. It's like, you don't remember killing my father? And he goes, for you, the day Bison grazed your village became the most important day of your life. But for me, it was just Tuesday. He was just really dealing out the burns when he got to.
Yeah, that's a sick thing. I mean, he was probably playing that same game that Meatwad was playing.
That Meatwad was playing?
Yeah, remember the episode Video Ouija, and he's playing that game where he becomes the sick burn master or something like that.
Oh yeah, the burn master.
I'm the burn master.
You're the insult master. Hey man, you stole my wristwatch. You dumb. I already had a wristwatch.
Right. But that's the thing though. Do you want to know another movie that nobody remembers that was made? They made a movie adaptation of Doom.
Yes, I remember seeing that movie.
Everybody legitimately hates it. Higgins loves it, despite him being a Doom fan.
I think
he watches it as a joke, though.
I did see the movie. I don't really remember, except for that epic first-person shooter scene. But I do know that it got to be rated R, and that was at least a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I never played Doom. Unfortunately, to everybody, I've never played Doom.
However, I think one good thing that we can say though is that Netflix has broken the video game curse because their Castlevania series has been certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's the bad thing, but here's the argument though.
What?
It's not a movie. It's a series.
No, but it's still an adaptation of a video game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a TV series, so it's still a motion picture adaptation. It's just a TV series and not a movie.
Yeah.
So it still counts. So it still means something.
Yeah, that's right. That's why they can make a successful video game movie. Then there you go.
Which there's no reason why people should. It wouldn't work. And you can still argue that Mortal Kombat was the only thing people can really can bitch about with Mortal Kombat was that it wasn't as gory as they remembered seeing it when they were a kid.
Personally, I think that when you look at Mortal Kombat, when you play the game, you're wondering yourself how you could translate that into a movie.
Well, if you played Mortal Kombat 9, you could get a better idea because the story mode plays out like a movie, so you could actually get a better idea. And while the movie was certainly made for more of a younger audience, they still took it pretty far. I mean, I think people tend to not realize that some of the fatalities in the first Mortal Kombat game didn't have that much gore.
Yeah.
Scorpion's infamous fatality, Sub-Zero, where he just kind of he turns into ice, then breaks you into a bunch of pieces. There was no gore involved with that. When Shang Tsung steals your soul, there was no gore involved in that. So I think people.
And there was the Nintendo version where there was no gore involved with that.
What's that?
I said, and then there was the Nintendo version where there was no gore involved in that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they got everything there, because they might have been basing it more on the Nintendo version.
And it was. So for me, whenever I hear people say "Oh, it was terrible," I'm like, "Bullshit! I was there. Everybody loved it, including you." Really, the only really bad thing you can say about it is that the effects didn't really age that well.
Yeah, that one scene in the second movie where it's the scorpion fighting the dragon.
Well, nobody likes the first movie except for maybe Doug Walker, who finds it just hilariously bad, which I can't believe. So no one ever wants to credit the second movie. The first movie was still a good movie. And supposedly they're rebooting it with the director from Saw. So I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to play out.
Hoffman? Is that his name?
What's that?
What was the director of Saw's name? I know his last name was Hoffman. I don't remember what the...
No, it's Lee Wanell.
Lee Wanell?
Yeah. The Asian Australian dude.
Oh, yeah, friggin' that dude.
Yeah. He's also done Insidious as well.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You know what movies he's done because he inserts Jigsaw into every single one of his movies. Or at least the puppet. The puppet, sorry.
And yeah, they're bringing Jigsaw back at Halloween Horror Nights. I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Question: in the Saw series, did they ever refer to the puppet as Billy?
No. It's just something behind the scenes, kind of like how Jaws, the crew referred to him as Bruce.
Bruce, the shark that didn't want to do anything.
Nope. So it's kind of it's just a behind the scenes thing. Yeah. That's all. Oh, Skeeter.
Skeeter's trying to find a way out.
Yeah, so I'm still looking forward to the new movie too. I'm curious to see how they're going to do it.
It's easy with gore, torture porn, and a lot of other stuff. But
it's not torture porn.
Well, you know what I mean, like torture, horror. That's the thing. Saw didn't really rely on jump scares. It was more on shock factor. Yeah.
And at the time, that was definitely a new form of horror when the first film came out. Well, once that came out, then suddenly, so many people tried copying its formula. Like Hostel.
It wasn't so much a new form. It was more like something that popularized it.
Okay, fair enough. That's fair enough.
Because that was something that did exist beforehand. Like Hellraiser, I believe, did it too.
Yeah, you could say that. But that's my favorite horror series franchise. It's Saw, because the killer Jigsaw, he was just so smart. He wasn't just some mindless killer. He was he found ways to get the victims to kill themselves, or at least severely hurt themselves. That's what I liked about him. And you and I got to meet him at Spooky Empire that one year.
I didn't know what to say to him, so the only thing that came out of my mouth is, "Why are you so awesome?"
Do you remember his answer?
He said it was just depending on the script.
But I am legitimately curious, because to me, the final chapter ended the series on a very good note. Every single character story was told. Everybody had closure. The main villain was stopped, and it ended vague enough to where there could be a sequel, but that there's a good chance there wasn't going to be. And I even remember Tobin Bell telling me that there wasn't going to be one at Spooky, but then suddenly, lo and behold, nope, there is one. Like, okay, I wonder what you're going to do.
What's the thing, what I'm going to say is that, what was I going to say there? A thought just recently occurred to me. Apparently, there's a Saw roller coaster in, I think it was Australia or something like that. And, it just occurred to me there. Jigsaw built an entire roller coaster just to kill somebody. God only knows what the hell his bank account looks like. You ever thought of that? It's kind of like when you're wondering about the cockroach problem in Leatherface's house.
Or Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah, where did Jigsaw get all the money for this? Isn't that explained in the movie?
Well, it did say that he is an engineer, so he did have a well-paying job.
The bathroom in the first movie, where is that bathroom at? Who owns it?
I think it was just some abandoned factory.
Yeah, nobody was able to live there. Granted, he's supposed to be hiding there. That's the one thing I like about the Saw movies, and with the exception of 7, it barely shows stuff from the outside world, and when it is, it's never outside, it's always inside.
Mm-hmm.
And when it is outside, it's just brief, you know what I'm saying? Hell, when, in the second movie, when they're driving to the house, it's just, the entire outside is just black.
Yeah.
hell, the house from the movie, how did Jigsaw afford that, man? I mean, was that his house or something, or...
No, I think he either A, found an abandoned place, or B, he acquired one so that he could actually do this elaborate experiment.
Yeah, that's mentioned
and like I said, he is an engineer, so he did come from a well-paying job.
Yeah, but that actually does explain. I guess they gotta beat me there. That was
Yay! I won.
That's the thing, though. There was actually a guy. I remember when the Saw movies were still out, and I think when like the third or fourth movie came out, a guy went on YouTube who was able to actually predict everything that was going to happen until the end. He was actually able to predict. Okay, spoilers. If you have any people in the ear that is Saw fan, cover your ears for about 10 seconds, starting now. He was actually able to predict that Dr. Gordon was still alive. And like everything, and like how he was the one that was assisting Jigsaw because of him being an engineer and him being a surgeon, like putting the key in his eye, he wouldn't know how to do that and everything like that. Anyway, ending the spoiler there. Bottom line, Carrie Elways was terrible in that movie.
Terrible? I thought it was great.
Well, I mean, accent wise, he can't do an authentic American accent too well.
I thought he did very well in the final chapter.
Oh yeah, he did good.
Because I think it was because he could actually make his voice creepy. It didn't have to be so straight sounding.
He only said one line.
That your promotional tool.
No, he said one line. He said, "I don't think so," and he throws the saw. He throws the saw in the screen.
No, but he had another line facing that guy who claimed to be one of his survivors but wasn't. He said, thank you for making us part of your promotional tool.
That was not a good way. Like, the 3D effects in that movie were terrible.
Okay, wait, how? Because I thought they were good.
Well, I haven't seen the entire movie all the way through. Like, I've only seen up till... confessingly, I have seen the deaths in all the other movies, but I've only seen up to, like, 4, I believe. I'm sorry, 5. 5 was the one with the waterhead, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was the, one in 5 there.
Well, to give you an example of some of the 3D effects they use and just how they use the technology, there was a scene where the game was obviously I had to get a person out of a contraption, and basically her face was moving closer and closer to these spikes.
Yeah, I saw that in the trailer. I thought that was a good effect.
Another one was in the very beginning where a girl was seeing a guy, but the guy didn't know she was seeing someone else, another guy.
And they're clearly like brothers or something like that because they're dressed the same or something like that or whatever. So
basically, and the game was that there were like 3 spinning saws, one facing each person. The girl was hanging up on the ceiling, and it was basically kind of a game of push or tug of war, whatever you want to call, of trying to keep that saw blade going towards the other person.
Oh yeah, so they had to like kill each other, and then in the end they like realize like, wait, she's trying to tempt us. Let's kill her.
Yeah, and basically, whenever they, would shove the saw forward, that's when, the camera will be poised. So I think they, the 3D effects were done tastefully. It wasn't going, here, take this. It wasn't anything like that.
It's not like House of Wax, obvious. Well, then again, House of Wax had an excuse because it was the first 3D movie, and they tried to do stuff like the infamous paddleball.
Yeah,
I like that one, the paddleball. Hey, there's a guy in there with a bag of popcorn.
Yeah, it wasn't anything like that. So,
but when you watch that, it's cute. So,
if anything, like Spy Kids 3D is the definition of doing crap like that.
It depends on the thing. Like maybe Shark Boy and Lava Girl, but like I just watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2 yesterday, and some of the 3D effects in that were not so good, and like trying to utilize 3D.
Well, I meant the movie in general.
The movie was great. I thought it was okay.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all!
I love that guy. Like, friggin'... I forget his name. That guy did a lot of movies. He's a good actor.
Yeah, I've met him twice so far.
Yeah, I know. He was in Spooky Empire that one time we were there.
But the first time I met him, though, was at the Ontario Fan Expo.
Oh, really?
And the cool thing, though, is that he was actually filming the first movie during that convention. He would literally fly from Canada to New Zealand throughout that weekend.
Nuts.
Sweet Christ.
Yeah,
man. So me and my friend Lisa, we go up to meet him, and keep in mind, my friend Lisa is drop dead gorgeous. She is married, so sad for me, but she is beautiful. And we go up to meet him.
Lisa.
What?
I said shout out to Lisa.
So we go to meet him. And I was like, oh man, there are some beautiful people up here. And then, because it was in Canada, but we were from America, we were from New York. And then I do my pin up the nose magic trick for him. He's like, yeah, man, there are some talented people in Canada. And it's like, actually, we're Americans. Like, you hear that? That's American, y'all. That's ours.
Yeah, all Americans enjoy sticking pens up their nose.
And then suddenly, my friend Lisa and we both did a photo op with them separately. And I do my picture with them, and I asked, by the way, were you guys pissed off about the Walking Dead game they did with you guys? Like, hell yeah, that game sucked.
He looks like a cool dude.
And then suddenly, here comes my friend Lisa. She goes, "Ooh, I'm in the middle of a Dixon sandwich." And everybody is trying so hard to keep a straight face when she said this. And finally, they take the picture, and Michael Rooker goes, "God damn! I'm gonna need a cigarette for that one."
But like, yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was pretty good. Like, Star-Lord was very underplayed in it. That was the only critique I had about it. He was kind of underplayed.
I liked how they referred to Rocket as Trash Panda.
What? That was another thing I didn't like. The constant running joke of them referring to Rocket as a different thing.
Let's sell Trash Panda. I thought that was funny. I never heard of that.
I also thought it was funny when Stan Lee is now confirmed to be the Watcher. When it was like I shouted in the middle of the living room, like, "Oh my God, are you serious?"
And now you can officially say you met that guy.
Yeah, I know. Well, so did you, but like, yeah.
Oh, you should really take a look at Skeeter. She is going ape shit over the squeaky mouse.
Showing screenshots from Project Cyclone, so there you go. Anyway, my point being is that, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, recommend it, have a fun time, bring the kids.
Definitely. I had a lot of fun watching this, watching that movie. The jokes were hysterical. Michael Rooker was great. And so was Batista, too. He was also a lot of fun to watch. I was surprised.
And so I think the next time you see him is going to be in the Infinity Wars. Like I said, I downloaded the trailer. I downloaded the trailer when it was leaked.
To Infinity Wars?
Yeah, like someone filmed it at Comic-Con and it was removed, but I was able to snag it to download his thing.
Oh.
I'm not going to play it on here, of course, but like the first shot of the Infinity Wars trailer is the Guardians of the Galaxy just chilling around space, and they run into something, and it turns out to be Thor. That's all I'm going to say for now. Anyway, we are now entering the final 5, where we give our closing thoughts. Justin, give me your closing thoughts.
Well, I am running broke, but I get paid Friday, and hopefully we'll be able to get together. We'll see what happens with the weather in my car.
Yeah, that's gonna be the thing. But let's just make that the conclusion here. Let's just hope that Irma does not kill us. Do you think Irma? Because that's the thing. If it actually does turn into a Category 5 hurricane, we are in trouble.
Why is that?
What do you mean? What, dude? What just happened to Texas? It got hit by a Category 5. That's like a very bad hurricane.
I thought you were referring to something else.
No, is Irma a hurricane now? Look that up. Just gonna look that up real quick. Gonna look up here. I'm gonna just take over the screen, and then I'm gonna take over and put me back on the face cam because everybody likes to see my face. Let me see here, Irma. Okay, skirt Irma. Should I just look up Irma, or should I just
Hurricane Irma?
Irma. I'm gonna look in the news. No, that's maps. I want in the news. Considering, I'm gonna say up front, if it starts flooding in Florida, that is not good. Considering that there could be gators in there. USA Today, is that an accurate news site?
I'd say so.
Hurricane Irma's path towards U.S. still uncertain. Oh my God, I hope it's between Florida. It's going to come in next week. It might strike the United States next week, anywhere between Florida and Nova Scotia. It's debatable what kind of category it's in. I really don't want it to be Category 5. I really don't. The National Hurricane Center said Sunday that Irma will likely be a major hurricane, meaning a Category 3 or higher. When it moves near the northeastern Leeward Islands, middle of the week, it could cause dangerous winds, storm surge, rainfall. So am I going to be another part where friggin'... Like, the hurricane looks like it might go on the east coast, but we might still get some winds from it.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing, like... we already went through Hurricane Matthew, and I really don't... And that was the first time was working on a day when Disney was closed.
I am currently working on a BronyCon special for my ConStars interview series. Hopefully I can get some input here from either Kurt Furox, my editor, or perhaps Brony. And Kitty, my friend Ari Lehman from First Jason just launched his new music video to Be a Monster. And I have to admit, it came out better than I thought it was going to.
I see.
Most music... one last sentence here. Most music videos these days are just the band performing. But this comes off more like an early Rob Zombie video, so kudos.
So before you go, I think I should talk about the episode update. Turns out I finished the Project Cyclone, which is going to be premiering around the same time the next episode is. The next episode should be performing in a couple of weeks. I'm actually going to skip Driftwood tonight because I really want to work on it. But I'm going to be honest here. Since there's very few people here, I want to give a little bit of a confession in the next episode, just to get out of the way. I'm just going to tell them the thing I told you, just to kind of clear things out. Okay, in the next episode is in the last episode, Master Code says the quote, "It's raining hard out there, I hope that creek doesn't flood." And in the next episode, the creek does flood. It floods a lot. Like... very badly. Like, it's almost like all the way up the door in the end. It didn't occur to me on this one, but like, I can't really... When I did the thing with the pulse joke, it was kind of not out there, but people could, if you looked carefully, people did see why I had to remove it. You know that, right?
Yes. Yeah,
people were in the comment section like saying, yeah, that's kind of... It's not so obvious, but yeah, I can see the specific reasons why you did it. Anyway, if this was written before Hurricane Herman, or whatever it's called. Was it Hurricane Herman, or was it... I can't remember. I keep forgetting the name. I'm a terrible person. So, yeah, like, there was a lot of devastation there. The producer of the show is actually from Houston, Texas, and I know that wasn't affected, but, you know, his family... He said his relatives were fine. And Eric Bennett, the guy who sang the original theme song, is actually living there right now. He was fine, too. But... regardless of that, like, this flooding joke, if this offends anybody, I apologize. Guys, it wasn't the intent. It was just badly timed because we wrote this before this all happened. And, like, there's no going around the joke. It's kind of like, it actually plays an important plot point for future episodes, actually. Like, the episode after that, it actually plays a plot. There's actually something in this episode that kind of plays into the next one that involves the flood. So, yeah, like, if anybody gets the wrong ways, and we'll make another apology video, like, Cruiser says it'll probably, like, expire by then, but we know we have people that watch us in the Texas area, and we don't want to, like, go out flat out and offend them with that. So, in the episode, we're going to be doing a shout-out. We're not going to do anything for charity. It's not because we don't want to donate to charity. It's because we won't have enough of an audience to do a charity fund. We are, however, going to still support it. We're going to do a shout out to one of the main charities for Hurricane Herman's Texas victims. Because I can imagine, like, if you were to lose your entire house because of this, it's not going to be something that you're going to get over in like 2 weeks. It's going to be something heavy. You have to start over. You almost lost everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, just...
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah, we're going to do as many shout-outs as we can to support the Houston, Texas incident. I keep saying Houston. I apologize. I'm just saying East Texas. So, yeah, if you were watching this, please, go find a charity. Donate something to these families. Like, they lost everything. It's like Hurricane Katrina. There are still people that are still low on that because of that. Especially because with the recent news of the recent incident with the chemical plants, it's worse. You heard about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's something that's making things matters worse. And with this tropical storm coming, who knows what's going to happen? So yeah, like in this episode, if this joke is taken out of context, we apologize. We just can't remove it because it's kind of like plays a big part, unless there's like a strong possible demand or anything like that. I don't want to be like, remember in last 9/11, that mattress company made that commercial with the twin mattress sale, and it had like the two things there. Those two dark-skinned guys, like, no racism intended. They weren't Muslim, but like the two bearded dark-skinned guys like falling into the towers and everything like that. And in the end, they're like, oh, we'll never forget. I'm not trying to be that guy. We are not trying to be that guy. We're not trying to like make a joke and then at the end saying, oh, no, we'll never help the families. Like, it wasn't an intent. I just realized it today, and I just wanted to get that out of the way. Like I said, we'll explain it a little bit more if this is brought up. Until then, just please help these people in need. Donate to a charity. Donate anything you can. There are people out there that need help. They lost everything. And I may not be the guy that knows what it's like losing everything, nor I don't think Justin is the guy that knows what it's like losing everything, but just, it is something that you need to help someone with in any way possible. With that, I say good night. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week. By the way, once again, I'm going to be not doing Driftwood tonight because I'm going to be working on the next episode after this. So good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Good night, guys.